How to house train your puppy or even your older dog. You're going to name it and you're going to reward it. We're going to use a method called capturing, and capturing a behavior is just like taking a photograph. To capture a new behavior and add your cue, so the word that you want to use, you need to think of your verbal marker or your clicker, if you're using a clicker, as a camera and taking a picture of the desired behavior. So what do I mean by that? When we're teaching any behavior, we have something called a cue, which is the word that prompts the behavior. For example, the word sit. As the dog does the behavior, we then mark it. We let the dog know that they've done the right thing by saying a verbal yes or by using something called a clicker. And we then reinforce the behavior. We give the dog, for example, a tasty treat, a nice reward. Okay, so if, for example, you were teaching a dog to sit on cue, you would wait for the dog to start sitting and you would say the word sit. You would then make sure that you were ready to snap that photo by saying yes or clicking the dog as they sit. And you would follow with lots of praise and a yummy treat. This means that the behavior is much more likely to occur again in future. And before you know it, the dog will be sitting in response to your cue, which is the word sit. And we can house train in the same way. So, if you've got a new puppy in your home or perhaps a new adoptee who isn't yet house trained, we advise that you capture him doing his business. Now, everybody knows that house training a puppy or a dog that isn't yet used to going outside to do his business can sometimes feel like an impossible task. We recognize that. One of the most important things that you will do is you'll have a house training schedule. We really can't emphasize enough how often you initially need to take your new family member to the toilet area. They're not just automatically going to learn that that is where you want them to go to the toilet. You'll need to take him out as soon as he wakes up, after he's had his meal, before play sessions, after play sessions, after the morning nap, after the afternoon nap, the evening nap, before you go to bed. In fact, for very small puppies, we initially recommend that you take them out every hour. Please also take the puppy to the same place and use the same route to get there. Now, it's preferable for the puppy to be on leash, on lead, and as soon as you get to the toilet area, you're just going to sort of hang around in that area. You can walk around a little bit, but stay in that toilet area because you want the dog or the puppy to think about doing their business. You don't want them to think about running around playing. That's why it's better if they're on lead. Play can come afterwards. You should now wait. And as soon as the puppy begins to squat, you say your cue. For example, go pee or be quick or go potty or do your business. Whatever your chosen cue is. Please be consistent and always use exactly the same word or words though. And make sure that everybody else in the family does so too. So exactly the same words. Once the puppy's finished, you're going to reward him with a treat and lots of praise. And now would also be the time to go for a walk or for a fun play session. A mistake that lots of people make is they let the puppy go out by themselves and the puppy just has a play session and they come back inside and they then do their business. Why? Well, because the puppy's been playing, they haven't been thinking about the fact that they need to actually go to the toilet. Another mistake people make is that they take the puppy or the new dog for a walk and the dog enjoys the walk and they don't go to the toilet. You get back home and they go to the toilet immediately they come inside, and it's because while they were walking, just the same as playing, they've forgotten all about it. Another mistake people make is that they take the puppy or the dog for a walk and as soon as they've done their business they bring them home. What happens there sometimes is that the dog goes, every time I do this I have to go straight back home, so actually I'm not going to do this. Okay, so you can see how important it is that we do the toileting first and the walking and the playing afterwards. Now, taking the puppy to the same place or the dog to that same place via the same route also means that it's going to be easy for the puppy to find his own way there once he's a little older. If, of course, it's safe for him to do so. For example, the toilet area is in a closed, secure yard or garden. And naming the behavior, praising that behavior, and feeding a tasty treat means that it often takes just a couple of weeks before your cue, that name of that behavior, that go potty, for example, can be used to actually prompt the behavior. It's being captured. Now, what if the puppy or the dog has an accident? What if they actually go to the toilet inside? Well, first of all, please don't reprimand them. Accidents happen. If you're going to reprimand anybody, it would be yourself, because you've obviously not been keeping a close enough eye on that puppy or new dog. So all you're going to do, if you actually see it occurring, interrupt it in as nice a way as you can. So you may say, hey, clap your hands or something, let's go. And you take them straight outside to their toilet area. It could be that by interrupting them, you literally do interrupt them doing their business and they now don't do it outside. In which case you could take them back inside, but you would need to actively supervise and then try again, for example, in 10 minutes. What you're not going to do is let them have freedom if you don't know that they've finished going to the toilet. You're going to clean up any accidents, and we advise that you use an enzymatic cleaner. You want to be using something that's safe for dogs and puppies. You don't want to be using bleach or ammonia. If you use, for example, ammonia or any product with ammonia in it, so check the ingredients carefully, to the dog, to the puppy, your whole house is going to smell like one big toilet, and it's actually going to be a cue for them to go toilet in that place. So clean carefully and using a safe cleaner, an enzymatic cleaner. You want something that's going to literally break that odor down, but is going to be safe if the dog, for example, were to lick the floor, and also is not going to be a prompt for them to go toilet in that same place again. A product that we found that we like is something called Odor Mute. So after you've mopped your floor, you can get some Odor Mute, which is either a tablet, a dissolvable tablet, or a powder. And you can pop it into a spray bottle, mix it with water, and you just spray the area, and that will get rid of any odor that may still be there. So it will literally break it down. So that's another good tip. Okay, so no reprimands. It just means that you need to keep a closer eye on your puppy or older dog indeed in future, so that they don't have these accidents. So capturing a behavior is a fantastic technique for teaching the puppy to go potty outside. It's also a lovely technique to share with children. So if you've got children in the household, get them involved in the training of your new dog or puppy. You can get the children to capture things like the dog sitting or lying down, but also you can get them involved in the house training. What you're going to do is give the children a small tub of treats. Now, for younger children, we'd advise something like Cheerios or tiny pieces of cheese, something that's okay for them to eat too, as you probably don't want the youngsters nibbling on dog biscuits, which they may well do. You then are simply going to tell the children that, for example, today we're going to catch Pablo going to the bathroom outside. Whenever you see Pablo waking up after a nap, I want you to take him outside to the toilet area. Or whenever I ask you to, it might be, I want you to take Pablo outside to his toilet area. As soon as he begins to squat, you can ask him to go potty, or whatever your chosen cue is. When he's finished, you need to tell him, yes, good boy, and give him a tasty treat. You can then play a fun game together. Now, obviously, the instructions you give are going to depend on the age of the child. And for very young children, it's best if they do the training alongside you. But it can be a great way of getting children involved and also improving their relationship and the bond that they share with your new puppy or dog. So those are our tips for successfully house training your dog. Remember, that you need to actively supervise your new puppy or new dog at all times. For the house training, you're going to have a schedule. You're going to name the behavior just as it's beginning to occur. You're going to say a yes to let the dog know that they've done the right thing. And you're going to reward them with treats, praise, and a fun play session. This is really important. Consistency is going to be your key to success.